So now, as we move forward in the case for Christianity, the skeptic would begin presenting all of this evidence, the evidence that the Protestant claims is not sufficient, and we would be making these comparisons to what the Protestant is bringing in his evidence for the case for Christianity. And this is where the Protestants, or some Protestants I should say, would be in for a very big surprise. In his case for the resurrection of Jesus, Gary Habermas and his co-author Michael Licona say that there are 42 authors within 150 years of his death who mention Jesus. They say that to show you how much evidence there is for Jesus. Yet on his own website, Habermas says that the Apocrypha are not well attested until later centuries. If only 42 people mention the name of Jesus, and mind you, that's 9 evangelists who wrote the New Testament, 20 people, I believe, in the early church, and the rest are people outside the church. If only 42 people even mention the name of Jesus, exactly how many people would you expect to attest to the Apocrypha? What fair and honest standard would you use to judge that number, whatever that number might be? Answer before you know what the number is. That'd be a more honest answer. What's happening basically is that Habermas thinks when he's talking about the Apocrypha, he's talking to Catholics. And he's thinking, well, that it helps his case. It helps his situation to use judgmental language like not well attested to refer to this. And he's not considering that a skeptic is sitting there taking notes and is going to use it against him. And the statement that he's making that they're not well attested is going to be held against him when we come back to the case for Christianity and we find out that there's only 42. How well attested is that exactly? And however many of these attestations there are for the Apocrypha, those basically are going to get extracted out from that 42. We're going to pull them aside. I mentioned before there are hundreds of possible references to the Apocrypha amongst those 9 who wrote the New Testament. There are thousands of possible references to the Apocrypha from the early church fathers, which would include those 20 that are part of his witnesses. A statement that they're not well attested is not going to help Dr. Habermas's case at all. But he's not thinking along those lines. He's thinking that his opponent in the canon debate is Catholic, and he's forgetting this also applies in the case for Christianity and can be used against him by the skeptic. Again, part of my book, Canon Crossfire.